shark review. So, today's movie is Sharktopus versus, I don't know how to make an S, versus Whalewolf. 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 Let's just get into the fucking movie.
So the plot of this movie is really weird. Like, really, really weird. I know that's kind of silly to be saying that about a movie with a shark-octopus hybrid in it, but it's really weird. It's just like, what the hell? So Sharktopus is still around and attacks some people. So it involves this drunk guy and his friend, and I guess they owe this guy some money or something, but as payment, he'll take one of Sharktopus's tentacles. They never really explain why he even wants one. Then there's this mad scientist who is trying to create a monster and uses a former baseball player and turns him into Whalewolf for really no reason other than that she feels like it. Then the two monsters collide. I have just no idea like what is even going on in this story. It's so weird and makes very little sense. It's pretty funny, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't exactly say it was well told or even to the point where I could really understand what the motivations of the characters were, because I really don't understand the motivations of like any of the characters. None of them have good motivations or even clear reasons as to why they're doing what they're doing in this movie. I couldn't tell you, and I watched the movie. Like, why the scientist made Whalewolf is beyond me. I have no idea. The main character in this movie is this drunk who is so ridiculously unlikable, it's not even funny. He just sucks as a main character. He's a bumbling idiot who's drunk all the time and is just not likable in the slightest. He is horrible. He kind of dragged the movie down alone. He's really the only, like, unlikable character in this movie also, because I thought everyone else in this movie was pretty good, or at least decent. But then there's him. He just is terrible. And it's like he's the main character, and there's just nothing you want to like about this guy. It's like, why am I rooting for this asshole? He sucks, and it's my biggest gripe with the story. The main character is just really bad. In a majority of these movies, the main character is like this generic, generally good guy, and they want you to root for him, and I was like, okay. But this guy, no, fuck this guy. He sucks. Okay, I guess I went a little overboard. Let's go into the monsters, the thing that, you actually came to see. In terms of screen time for the monsters, it was pretty good, actually. Throughout the movie, there are a little bit of both monsters. There is certainly more Sharktopus than the other one, but they both had a good amount of screen time. It was pretty well spread out, I felt. There was never a long gap where you're like, come on, where are they? It got close a few times, but never actually got there. It was pretty consistent throughout the movie, which is always great. It wasn't as much as the last Sharktopus movie, but it was still a good amount, that's for sure. The CGI and kills in this movie were not exactly that great. Like, all of Sharktopus's kills were pretty much just repeats from the last two movies. There wasn't really anything new here, like, at all. So after 3 times now, I gotta say, I'm not gonna give this one a pass, as opposed to, the last two. I mean, it's just kind of the same shit. At least with Whalewolf, there are some new kills that involve him, like, chasing people, which is always good. I love ground kills. But in general, the kills weren't exactly that great. But then again, the big selling point is that they're gonna fight. They fight a few times, but it's not that great. It's just okay. It's not as bad as the Mega Shark series. Those were just horrible fights. They were barely even in the movie. This is way better. But it's not as good as the last movie. The fights are still passable, though. The CGI was not exactly very good. It has pretty much the same as Sharktopus. I'm pretty sure it's the same Sharktopus in terms of CGI. I'm just sure they reused it, which is fine, but it doesn't exactly look that great. Whalewolf looks pretty bad. Not like horrible, but it's just not exactly very good in this movie. And this movie's pretty recent, so it really doesn't stand the test of time, is what I'm saying. It could have been a lot better, that's for sure, but it could have been so much worse. And thankfully, that is not the case. This brings me to the acting. I've already talked enough shit about the main character, so I'm gonna just say he is whatever acting. The other characters in this movie have okay acting, but it's not great by any means. But it gets a pass, and is better than a lot of the other stuff I've seen so far. I wouldn't say it's as good as the last movies, but the last movies was pretty awesome, actually. Everyone here just kind of gets like a flat pass. I mean, there's nobody actually just terrible except for the scientist, I guess. Everyone besides her was pretty okay, but she was just kind of shit. But she was like shit in a way where she knows she's shit and she's just trying to make it worse, so it kind of makes sense. She just had this super fake accent that really just did not sound good at all, and I would have rather she just talked normal because the accent just made me laugh. It was just bad. But the acting as a whole, it was pretty, okay, I guess. Overall, what do I think of this movie? Well, it's not bad, but it's not great. It's just good. I wouldn't say it's the worst of the Sharktopus series. That is the first one still. But this is not exactly that good. Yeah, it's not as good as the last movie, that's for sure. But the last one did have Conan O'Brien in it. It falls in between the two movies. Not bad, but you could do a bit better. Although it's got some decent fights in it, and it has Whalewolf. Yeah, Whalewolf. That just makes the movie so much better because of him. As if one crazy ass monster hybrid wasn't enough, we got Whalewolf. So on to the shark scale, I'm gonna have to give this movie a solid 3 out of 5. It's good. You could do so much worse. But if you like Sharktopus, just check it out if you haven't seen it already. I'm sure there'll be another Sharktopus movie. Hopefully it's a little bit better than this one, because I like Sharktopus. So I'll see you guys on the next review. Have a nice day.